Brilliant. I'll make a start with today's presentation. In total, it's going to last around about half an hour, 40 minutes, and hopefully I'll cover a good introduction to Qwood and some of the products we offer. You'll find in the top right-hand side, I've shared a link with you that will take you to a page on our website where you can find your local Qwood stockist. But I'll happily answer any questions you might have as we go through the presentation. My name's Tim, and I'm, the specification and marketing manager at Quantum, but I spend a lot of time looking after the Qwood brand from a technical side. You've got my email address on the screen. Also, you've got my mobile number should you wish to contact me afterwards. So today we're going to look at what is Qwood, what benefits Qwood can offer your business as a joinery, how easy Qwood is to introduce to your business, what Qwood products are available, and the cost-saving benefits of switching to using Qwood. Because the meterage price is higher than a traditional timber bead, but actually there's other cost savings around switching to Qwood, which means actually by using the product, it can save money. And then what the next steps are, then a bit of time for question and answers. Hopefully I will cover everything. As I say, everyone who's in here today, I'll send around a copy of this slide deck so you've got it, and I'll also link you to a recording. So what is Qwood? So Qwood is a timber composite profile that perfectly suits the manufacture of timber windows and composite doors. We've got an extremely talented tool room, extremely talented way of producing product, which means we can be extremely accurate with the products we make. We make really small profiles really well. So whether that be glazing beads and bars or staff and parting beads for the sliding sash market or door profiles. So if you're doing composite doors, we do a range of door profiles to suit. What benefits can Qwood offer my business? Firstly, you can use Qwood straight out of the box. The moment Qwood arrives, it is ready to use. There is no need to extract moisture, to treat, to acclimatise or condition before using. It's free of knots, defects, imperfections, and Qwood removes the need for labour-intensive sorting and inspection. So you use every single piece every single time. So it comes, you can use it, you don't need to sort it. You don't need to remove product that's out of specification because every piece of Qwood will be in specification for you. You see here, the image you see on the screen is some head drip bead, and we run it for larger customers in stillages, but it's available through distribution in smaller quantities. It also allows you to reduce preparation time. If you're running your own beads, you're going to have to set up your spindle molder, you're going to select your timber, you're going to run it through the spindle molder, you're going to repeat that process, you're then going to remove warp beads, you're then going to have issues with knots, you're then going to need denib, you're then going to cut to length, and then you're going to prime, and you're going to seal the end grain. With Qwood, the box turns up, or the pack turns up, you're going to remove it from the pack, you're going to cut it to length, and you're going to spray it. Lots of joineries that we know just give it a single top coat. What I would recommend is, however you're currently painting, whatever current paint system you're using, you should apply the same processes with Qwood. So what I mean by this is often joineries will put their beads through at the same time as the frames, so they're getting a primer coat. That's worth doing with Qwood as well, although some paint manufacturers such as Technos say you can paint with just a single coat. And all that preparation time, you're saving both energy and labour. So you're not paying someone to be sorting beads, to be setting up a spindle molder, because you're using the product straight out of the box. And there's not the costs involved with that. Also, from a sustainability point of view, we take sustainability extremely seriously. We're fully committed to protection and improvement of the environment for future generations. Qwood is manufactured under an environmental management system accredited to ISO 14001. And Qwood has successfully achieved chain of custody with both FFC and PEFC. So if you are FFC or PEFC registered, we're able to supply chain of custody product to you, which is important. And then also we're able to take back waste product as well. So offcuts, we're able to take back as long as they're clean and stored correctly. We've got a waste carrier license, so we can bring those offcuts back. And then Qwood helps to improve your production processes. Qwood is supplied to joinery industry with profiles that improve and enhance the flow through the joinery processes. Joineries can machine traditional joinery tools, and Qwood reduces the process of storing, sorting, etc. with beads. So the image you see on the screen is one of our larger customers in the UK, and what they do, this is a simple glazing bead they've got. They make their frames up and they just have the Qwood beads. They cut their beads as it goes through the paint process. There's no need to worry about issues with bending, cracking, or splitting of the timber beads because it's consistent. So they cut their beads on a Hoffman machine, on a Steger, and the beads just run through the paint shop as the window frames go through. Whereas before they switched to the process of just taking the Qwood out of the box and cutting it on the machine, they had to get timber, they had to run their beads, they had a person tied up, often for days at a time, running their glazing bead. Because if they needed, say, 1,000 meters of glazing bead in a month, they'd end up having to run 1,500 meters because of the amount of waste they got from it. So with Qwood, they don't have to do that process of running the bead in the first place. And because they've got that extra consistency, they know they only need to cut one set of beads per window. And as that runs through the process, they're not going to have issues that they're going to have to address later on. But as I say, when it comes to finishing Qwood, I would always recommend, however you're currently finishing your beads, use that same process, because introducing Qwood to your business is about making it as easy as possible, as standard as possible as it runs through the process. And then by switching to Qwood, you're going to minimize your product waste and defects. The consistency of Qwood means waste can be drastically reduced, as it will not bow, splinter, swell, crack, or rot. Therefore, only offcuts will be left over. Everything else is fitted to your window or door, and Qwood can be supplied in lengths that best suit your production processes, subject to minimum quantities. What I would say there is we do some bespoke lumps, but 90% of what we ship out is in 3-meter lumps, and that seems to be the most efficient size. What we also find is someone will come to us and say, we're going to use 1,000 meters a month of this bead. The reality is they're going to use 20 to 30% less than that because they're going to have that much less waste. Dealing with a customer up in Scotland, a joinery, who told us they were going to use 1,000 meters of a astragal bar per month. That was what they'd worked out they got through in timber. We supplied their first order, which was a 1,500 meter stillage 3 months ago, and they've only just reordered it, so they're actually using less than half the beads they thought they were actually using, because they've just got that much less waste in their process, because they're using every piece every time. And so that 20 to 30% time is both a cost saving, because you're not having to run the extra product, but also a waste saving, because you haven't got someone running bead that's going to then be wasted and go into the process elsewhere. So you're minimizing the waste within the system, both in terms of labor, which is a cost, energy, which is a term of cost, and product that's defective, which you're going to have to chuck, which has no use within a window or door. And then you're going to enhance your finished product. So not only is Qwood going to give you more opportunity to work through the factory, be efficient because you're going to use every piece every time, it's going to give you brilliant long-term performance. So as a number of joiners have said to me, the small beads and bars are actually like something that people don't really talk about in the joinery industry, but it's these small beads and bars that have a habit of bending, bowing, rotting, and cracking, because it's a small bead that has a habit of moving because it's a small piece of timber, and therefore it's most vulnerable at risk. So Qwood, by switching to Qwood, you're going to improve your long-term performance. You're going to have less or negligible remedial work to do because of bead movement, because Qwood is that much structurally stable. And this is from casement windows to sliding sash windows to composite doors. Your beads are going to stay where they're planted on. I was dealing with one sizable joinery not too long ago, and they just switched from using timber beads to Qwood, and they actually had a whole 2 people, and it was just their job to go out and do remedial work. That was the scale of remedial work needing from timber bead. You're paying 2 people 2 salaries. You've got a van running around just repairing beads that have bent and bowed, and which were originally were fit for purpose. So it's something to think about there. Switching to Qwood, not only you're going to save money in the process, but when you're actually finishing your project on site, your windows are going to have a greater longevity. It's really important to think about. And then as I said before, long-term performance of Qwood is brilliant. You see a fish tank on the screen with bits of Qwood in. That's actually still in our office, and that was from 2016. And it just shows the longevity of Qwood when left in water. It absorbs, so because of the wood fibers that go into Qwood, it absorbs paint and holds paint really well. But because of the nature of the wood composite that it's made from, it means it doesn't absorb water as timber would. Timber would blow out. That doesn't happen with Qwood because of the structure of the product. So Qwood is extremely stable, durable, and resistant to temperature or environmental changes when compared to timber. And Qwood will not swell, twist, split, or rot. This means that you are able to have peace of mind in the superior long-term performance of windows and doors when Qwood profiles are fitted. Qwood will far outlast its timber alternatives, and its ongoing historic problems for external joinery can be eliminated. So if you've ever had a site where you've had issues, by switching to Qwood beads, you can address those issues because you won't have that degree of movement because it's structurally very sound. We take sustainability, we take quality extremely seriously. So as a manufacturer, we have ISO 14001 and 9001 in place. We're a lean manufacturer, which means everything is manufactured to order. And that's why it's always best to order through one of our distributors, because we supply them in volumes and they hold stock, which you can therefore draw from. Our sustainability system is more than just a logo and a tick. It's about a way of business for us. We've actually had a new roof put on our factory in order to have solar panels put up there in order to reduce what we take from the grid. We've turned all of our lights into LEDs, which is a quick win. And we have a take-back scheme in place for Qwood where we'll take back waste product and we'll reuse it in the production of future Qwood. From a standard and systems point of view, we're lean, so it means everything is manufactured to order. We hold no stock whatsoever of Qwood, and that's why everything is manufactured to order with a lead time, normally between 5 to 10 days from placing the order. We're also a proud member of the British Woodworking Federation, and we attend their annual Members' Day, as well as being involved with awards for a number of years. And most importantly, probably to me, is we're a very proud independent British manufacturer. We're owned by our directors, and we supply throughout the UK and Europe from our manufacturing sites in Oldham. We actually have transparencies. So if ever you would like to see our site, you're more than welcome to book on and have a factory tour and come and see how we make Qwood and come and see the processes behind it. We're very proud of our transparency and sharing the information about what we do as a manufacturer. We actually hosted a specification afternoon and beer festival in the summer to get architects to our site along with other manufacturers. It's about sharing knowledge. It's about becoming better as we go forward. We're very proud of having FFC certification on our beads, and our tagline or our taglines are the undisputed innovator of the timber composite beading solution for timber, window and door market, and the only sustainable provider of FFC chain of custody composite beading profiles in the world. We are able to supply FFC if you or your customer have FFC in place, and we are the only wood composite provider who supply this marketplace. And we've been growing significantly over recent years. So how easy is Qwood to introduce to a business? Because obviously it's a change of process. Well, actually, Qwood is really, really simple to introduce to a new business. It can be worked exactly like timber. We have a standard range which is available via distribution, which covers all of the key profiles, which is glazing beads, glazing bars, we've got astragal bars, we have lamb's tongues, oblo bars, we have parting beads, staff beads, and door profiles. But all of these products can be cut, worked, and processed like timber. The way your saw is set up, you can cut Qwood with it. One thing I would mention is if you're using a stegger to joint your beads, you can actually tighten the cut on the stegger to have an even tighter, closer cut when you're steggering bars for windows. You can pin, you can nail, and you can glue Qwood as you do currently. And most importantly, you can paint and finish it like the timber that you currently use. We do have a number of paint tests on our website. We always recommend speaking to the paint manufacturer, but all of the Morels, Technos, AkzoNobel, etc., have tested and made recommendations. So work Qwood like you work timber beads. So use every piece out of the box every time, but you can just work it how you currently use it. And whether that be a pin glazing bead to one of our clip system products, it can be worked without the need for any change or upskilling or change in tooling. It's literally the product comes, you take it from the box, it's cut, and then it's fit. Keep it nice and simple. And as you see on the screen now, you can get some really detailed finishes in Qwood. We actually have one customer, what he does now, he makes his window frames and then he uses our pin glazing bead and a Hoffman key, and he actually makes his glazing, glazing cassettes up with his bars in, and then he just slots them in because that's the accuracy he's able to get. We know John Penny Woodworking very well in the UK, who sells the Sega machine, and also we know Hoffman in the UK, and we would recommend both of those. One for putting a joint in the back, if you're making up cassettes for collection mold, say, or for the Stega if you are putting Georgian bars or bars on a window full stop. Gives you that really nice tight finish to go through a workshop, and really an accurate detail which is held and prevents any further movement from happening. So Qwood is really, really simple to introduce. We have a standard range. We're also able to quote on bespoke profiles. I'd say probably minimum order 500 meters plus per month, but probably 1,000 plus to make it realistic. But we can offer bespoke tooling, once again available via us or via distribution. So what Qwood products are available? So we try and keep it in the three ranges. So we've got casement, we've got SASH, and we've got door profiles. With the casement window range, we've got glazing beads. Now what you see on the screen here is you see a glazing bead using a clip system. We actually have a number of pin glazing beads, which are much more simple to introduce. The clip system, what the clip system gives you, it allows you to create compression on the gasket at the back, and therefore to hold the gasket tighter. So that's our clip system. But we have a pin system, which you would use for silicone or a glazing tape. We have a hidden another tape bead, which uses the clip as well, and we have a push-on bead there as well. When it comes to head drip beads on casement windows, because it's normally quite a big profile and it's often has a fear or can curl around if it's not fit correctly or it's softwood, we have a head drip bead, and also we have a drip bead. Now we've got some customers that have just incorporated the drip bead. So you see on the bottom there, you've got that drip bead. It's often a vulnerable point because water's running down your window over the drip bead, so often at risk of rotting. So we've got one customer who's just using their timber beads to glaze the window, but they're putting a Qwood drip bead on and they're just introducing that into their system. Now what we would always recommend is that you put a 6mm rebate on the bottom of your frame. That means you can vent the unit and allow for water to run off if any water does get behind the glazing unit, because the last thing you want is for water to get under the glazing unit and the glazing unit blow out. So we do have customers that don't rebate the bottom and just put a flat clip on the bottom, but this does risk water sitting underneath the frame. So we always recommend you rebate it to allow water to run off. Then when we look at internal and external bars, we've got a complete range. So we've got bonding bars or Kit Kats as some call them, from 22mm all the way up to 30mm plus. And then we've got lamb's tongues, we've got Ovlo bars. And what we've done with these beads, we've tried to standardize it. So we've got standardized, and what we've done is these beads, LB1 has got 4mm on the top, OB1, the Ovlo bar's got 4mm on the top, our smallest bonding bar's got 4mm on the top. The reason we've done that is so on a Stega, you can Stega these beads. So they're very detailed, small beads, but actually that 4mm on the top allows a Stega cut to be put in. So that means you're not going to get the bead breaking. So we do offer a complete casement range of beads that are very popular and well used. As I say, we are able to do bespoke beads for customers, but that would require 500 to 1,000 meters plus a month to make it viable. We have to make tools. We make tools completely in-house, and it is a skill. And the actual cost of making the tool to us is probably somewhere between £5,000 to £7,500, and we would charge the charge the distributor or the customer around about £2,500 to have that cut. So it's a contribution towards ongoing business and ongoing relationships. So that's CASEMENT profiles. You can see some of the products that we offer on the screen at the moment. On the left-hand side, you can see the Ovlo bars, Lomstong, and the different Kit Kats that we do. And then in the middle, you can see pin glazing beads, a hidden pin glazing bead, which you do silicone on, and also clip beads at the bottom. And on the far right, you can see those two different head drip bead options, and also the two free drip bead options we've got with slightly different angles on them to suit different window systems. And then when we look at sliding sash windows, of course, the same pin glazing beads and bars you can use, but also we've got the staff and parting beads. Now, we have a non-integrated staff bead, a non-integrated parting bead without the brush pile. We also have a clip system, and then we also have a non-clip system. So it depends on how you're making windows. The clip system is brilliant because you can clip the bead in. It allows you to get the bead out to maintain the frames. If you're going to have a brush pile either on the frame or on the bead's intricacy and design allows you to feed the brush pile in, and you don't need a second carrier. So I would say using the clip system and the integrated sash pile allows you to save more time. But we've got customers who literally just take the parting bead as a solid 7mm parting bead, so no clip, no integrated brush pile. Which is everyone's got their own way of designing and their own way of working. We've got parting bead 7mm, we've got an 8mm parting bead, and also we've got an 11mm parting bead. With the staff bead, we've got a 20 and a 25mm parting bead as well. Both clip system, non-clip system. Ultimately, the clip system is a slight change of process, but it does work really well, and I would recommend it for fitting, because it allows for that maintenance and security at the same time. So as you see here, these are the staff and parting beads that we offer. You can see the non-integrated beads at the top right, and then in the middle, with no room for the stash part to go in. At the bottom, you've got the clip system. That's a patented clip system, which is only available in Qwood. And the way the bead's designed, it allows the window needs to be open, and the bead will only come in if it's opened internally, so you can't get the beads off externally, and that allows for you to repair the frames once the beads are in. And then finally, we do door profiles as well. So composite doors are growing in their importance, especially with the growing need for improved U values on properties, especially new build, with energy prices soaring. Very important to increase thermal efficiency and to prevent cold bridging. And so this can be done for using, for example, an OH Industries door blank or mill panel door blank. What we do is we manufacture the beads that suit very nicely an OH door blank, and we do a rain deflector or weather bar, as you can see on the bottom there. And that will pull itself into the door. It's a classic design. Water runs off. What would you do traditionally? You'd either have a big bit of timber there that may rot, or you would have a bit of aluminium that looks ugly. The Qwood rain deflector is cheaper than aluminium, and it's not going to have the risk of rotting. We also do a collection mold, which is rebated into the frame by 3mm. Now, you'd use Hoffman joints to make up your cassettes and then glue it in. Gives you that classic look. And we've got glazing beads to suit. Now, what we've recently brought out is the bead system you see at the top. Now, this is a 3-part security bead system. And what it means is it allows you to achieve within the UK PAS 24 or secure by design. This bead has been designed in partnership with a company called PDS. What they wanted was to improve, they wanted a classic looking bead which allowed them to get PAS 24. So you can see the internal frame extends further than the external frame, so the glazing is stuck against that and the bead. Then the external bead is a 2-part system. So the first bit's stuck on, screwed on, and then the cap's fitted, which means you can't get behind the bead to get the bead off, and therefore you achieve the PAS 24 standard. It's a brilliant solution. We've recently brought it out. If you want samples, please let me know following on from this meeting. And as you see on the screen there, you see collection mold being fit, and you can see the glazing bead being fit in a composite door. So what we would do, you'd have your composite door, you'd CNC it out, and then you'd fit your beads, and then you'd run it through your paint line and the finished painted product, and then you'd fit the glazing, and then you'd fit the glazing cassette you'd made up on the other side. Simple range of what we've got here is a really classic look. So it's that classic old-fashioned look that's very popular at the moment, especially if you're doing anything going into conservation areas. The collection mold matches the glazing beads. We've got 3 different sizes of glazing beads which work with different panel sizes. But then the thing you've got to think about with panel sizes is, say, you can have a 44 panel size, but then also it will be affected by the size of your glazing unit. So if you have a 20 or 24 glazing unit, and then your glazing tape, some people use a 1mm, some people use a 2mm glazing tape. So those 3 beads can work across a number of panel sizes depending on the glazing and depending on the glazing tape that you're using. And I know one customer who takes one of the beads and he takes off 1mm off the back of the bead so it suits his system, because everyone works slightly differently. But what we try to do with the design of these 3 beads is meet as many different combinations of panel sizes as would possible. So what are the cost savings of using Qwood? So during manufacture, you're going to use every piece every time. So you're going to have 20% less waste and less defects. So as a headline figure, you're going to need 20 to 30% less bead in the first place. It's also going to remove unnecessary labour costs because you don't have to select timber, you don't have to run the timber, you don't have to remove warp timber, you don't need to end grain seal, etc. So all of that labour's gone because you're going to use it straight out of the box. It's also going to remove unnecessary energy costs. So that's like running a spindle moulder. All of those costs soon add up. You don't need to run that machinery because the beads are available from us. And that's during the process. So you're going to use less. You're going to have less labour tied up making the beads. And then post-manufacture, you're going to have no paint touch-up if you use the clip system because you're not going to have the pinheads. And most importantly, you're going to have limited to no remedial work on site because actually the beads are more stable and therefore aren't at risk of moving. One thing I would touch on here, if you're painting windows in really low LRV colours, make sure you use a full length of clip rather than just clips every 75mm. This will hold the Qwood much more stable. But there we go. But long term, your production's going to be cut down, you're going to have less waste, and then post-manufacture, you're going to have less remedial. Because I said before, I gave that example of a big joinery, and they had 2 people, and it was just their job to go around doing remedial work. The cost of that implication to a business is massive. And that's why they decided to switch to Qwood. Here's a few photographs of products of our product out and about. You can use it in casement windows, you can use it in sliding sash windows, and you can use it indoors, and it gives you a beautiful finish. And once Qwood's fit, once it's on the window, once it's on the timber window or door, you can't tell that it's Qwood, you can't tell what it is. It just gives you that beautiful finish without the same degree of risk. So what are your next steps? So we've got a range of videos on YouTube that you can go and watch. And what I'll do, everyone who's in the room today, I will share with you a link to those videos post this presentation. You can order free sample lamps from us, request longer lamps free of charge. We'll send them out to you so you can have a play, but also give you details of our distributors so you're able to speak directly with them about purchase. You can book a remote meeting if you're interested or want to learn more about the technical side of introduction of Qwood, and then we can help you place your first order via one of our distributors. So I'll stay around for the next few minutes. As I say, I will send out some useful links, including a copy of this slide deck. If you have any questions, please let me know. But thank you very much for your time. I've been Tim Hayes, Specification and Marketing Manager at Qwood. Thank you. As I say, I'll send around some useful links, but please feel free to add any questions in the chat box. And yeah, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully you found that interesting or useful. If you would like me to give this presentation to any of your colleagues or anyone else within your organization, please just let me know and I'll happily follow up and arrange that. But thank you very much. Over to you. Any questions? Thank you. Brilliant, thank you. I'll give it a couple more minutes, then I'll end the session. As I say, I'll send around some useful links should you have any. But thank you very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll stay around just in case there's any questions, but thank you. Wonderful. I'll end the session now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.